Hey guys, real quick prelude to the video. While we're looking at the earthquakes that took place in the Caribbean area and the earthquakes that take place in the South Sandwich Islands, keep an eye on the visual comparisons of these bending strip islands. The Lesser Antilles and Leeward Islands here, major earthquakes taking place along this bend. On the north end of South America, then on the south end of South America, the same thing is happening with these bend strip islands, the South Sandwich Islands. Very interesting comparison, keep in mind, while we go through this video of these two significant areas plus a third that just took place in Alaska. Very, very interesting. Good morning, everybody. It is August 14th, 2021, 8:49 a.m., a little earlier than usual, and we're going to be talking about some seismic activity that has taken place over the last couple minutes. You're looking at a 7.2 earthquake. You could see here as we zoom in, technically in Haiti. Dominican Republic is here to the right. We know this area very well because we track storms through it all the time. Not to mention, before we get any further, we've had experimental explosions. And as I change the setting over to all magnitude earthquakes over the last 30 days, we could see two of those experimental explosions very close to each other. There was a third one we have on record now. So just putting that info out there while we talk about this 7.2 rare earthquake that took place just moments ago, 10 kilometers in depth. We may very well have some tsunami information to go with this. Although, as we can see here, if we measure from one experimental explosion to the earthquake that just took place, we are looking at about 885 miles. So chances are it probably had nothing to do with it. But, I mean, how often do we get to say that we had experimental explosions within 1,000 miles of a major earthquake? But that's not it, my friends. We also had another major earthquake take place. And for that one, we need to go to Perryville, Alaska, both of which taking place in the last few moments. This one at 33 kilometers in depth. We're going to take a look at this one on Google Earth as well. But what I want you guys to see, and what is actually a good thing, is our tsunami buoys, or our DART system, actually functioning as normal. We had that earthquake you could see here in Haiti, 7.2. It also has our storm tracks here that we're covering, but we could see 1 and 2 buoys going off right here, these tsunami buoys that have triggered because of the shaking from this quake. And check out that reading here. We could see the shake was right here. It almost went up and down, so that does match an earthquake. Maybe some sort of landslide underneath this thing could have taken place. But if you look closely, you only moved between 1 meter. So you can see, even though this red line is pretty dramatic here, it's only a small amount of movement that the buoy made compared to the normal movements of the tide throughout the day. If we go ahead and click this buoy, you can get a much better idea of the smaller significance of the shake compared to the tides. This was about a 10-second event. You can see right here, this red little sliver equals 15 seconds of time on this chart. We are also going to check out the earthquake that took place in Alaska in just a moment. I want to check out the exact epicenter of this quake, kind of remote in the country of Haiti, which is a good thing, but unfortunately these islands are so small that it's going to affect everything around it, and it's more so about these fault lines than anything. And those fault lines can be much easier seen here on the USGS information. And we've had some earthquake activity here in Puerto Rico. That's not too uncommon. We have that fairly often because of this round, almost buckling that happens with this part of the tectonic plate here down by South America. And now we're going to check out the second of these two major quakes that took place this morning, and that is Perryville, Alaska, 6.9. So basically the opposite side of yesterday, where we had many major earthquakes down in the South Sandwich Islands. We talked about this briefly yesterday in our video update. And just to reiterate here, just take a look at the event that went on yesterday. 8.1 being the biggest earthquake of that session, 7.5, 6.3. Each one of these being a major earthquake on its own. Unbelievable stuff going on this planet right now. If I zoom up, you can see the entire area of this fault line here is completely covered in major quakes. So something is definitely buckling here, maybe some sort of underwater volcanoes. We actually had a report of an underwater volcano just yesterday. So the surface of the earth is going through some sort of change as we speak. And just a quick look on the past earthquakes over the last week, we've had so many major quakes. And just check out the dates here. This was on August 11th, so 3 days ago. So these big quakes aren't coming out of nowhere. For 3 days in a row, we've had at least a 7.0 earthquake. That is pretty rare. And if you guys notice, we don't have any tsunami buoys way down here by Antarctica or the Sandwich Islands, probably because nobody would be allowed to go check them if we did have them. And now we can see just 3 minutes ago, the USGS putting out a tweet on this quake. Now, if you guys remember, about a year and change ago, we had a major earthquake in Jamaica. This earthquake taking place in 2020 in January, I believe. I could be off by a month there, but regardless, within a year, we've had a 7.7 now, which was, as you could see here, one of the strongest strongest earthquakes on record in the Caribbean. 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck about 70 miles northwest of Montego Bay, Jamaica. We posted on this video back in that time. So in my opinion, I'm sure in a lot of other people's opinions as well, there's something going on with this fault line that stretches from Cuba, actually even further than Cuba. But as far as the major quakes taking place, we've been right in this area over the last year and all the way around the bend here, down to this northern tip of South America. And now keep in mind, the other fault line that's going off right now is the exact fault line that runs off the southern end of South America. So the north and south end of South America is having major earthquake events right up here on this bend and then way down here on this bend. I apologize for the jumping around, guys, but I just wanted to get this info out to you as I woke up and these quakes both took place. We got the one here in the Caribbean and then the other buoys going off by Alaska. Two different oceans, two different sides of the North American continent. Not to mention, again, this is very important, two very similar looking land areas, these strips of islands that then curl to the south and then back to the top of a continent. The same thing is taking place at the southern end of South America. Look at this bend of island chains, and we're getting a huge earthquake swarm right on these bends here where these fault lines meet. So very interesting comparison we can make right now that we have a lot of earthquake activity on both of these similar looking island chains. Leeward, Lesser Antilles, all the way up through Cuba, and then the South Sandwich Islands that in a way connect Antarctica to the tip of South America. Very, very interesting. All right, my friends, that is the update for now. We are going to see where this leads today. This is the third day in a row we've had major earthquakes kind of lead the headlines besides our Atlantic hurricane season. But just take note, once again, of these areas that are really getting hit hard. We have here, and here. It's almost like a very, very specific north to south event going on the land masses in between the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. I will be back a little later on with another update on the weather and the seismic activity going on, as well as something else. You're definitely going to enjoy it. Thank you guys so much. Happy early morning to you. Sorry for the quick video, but definitely wanted to get this info out to you ASAP. Major earthquakes taking place near Cuba and Haiti once again after a year. Separates the 7.7 Jamaica quake, major earthquake in the Alaskan Strip Islands, and a very big continued event of earthquakes in the South Sandwich Islands close to Antarctica. My friends, your guess is as good as mine. There is something going on this planet, and I'll be back to bring you more of it later on. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.